Well, Brian, thank you for being here with me tonight. The president said that it was, quote, not a particularly secure building. What do you make of that? I know you have experience with that hotel.
Yes, Christina, I've been in that building many, many times over the years. It's the place, actually, on the outside of it, where Ronald Reagan was almost assassinated by Hinckley. And so it's a place where lots of meetings occur. I've been in that ballroom with the president, with many other people over the years. The ballroom holds, it's a massive ballroom. It holds probably 1,000 people. But more importantly, Christina, to remember, is that this is a working hotel in downtown Washington, D.C., with over 1,000 rooms. And as I suspected, and then we heard, this person checked into the hotel probably a day or a couple of days early and was laying in wait. And that's the problem with trying to secure a hotel of that size. This is a massive place. You go up the escalators into the ballroom, done that many, many times through security. But it's hard to secure a property that's that big.
Given that he was a guest at the hotel, what does that tell you about how he was able to get so close to that ballroom with so many weapons?
Well, if you've been in that hotel, you realize you come down the elevators, and if you go to the ballroom area, you can get fairly close. He didn't get into the actual venue, into the ballroom. The doors on the outside of that ballroom are really big, secure doors. But he did get by security, and that's something that's going to have to be analyzed. And when I say he got by security, I mean, you saw the video. He bolts by them, but immediately he's taken down by security that were there on the scene. This dinner tonight, by the way, has the highest level of security, or almost the highest level security that can be brought to an event. I've been to the State of the Union, the most highly secure event ever held each year. And I can tell you it's just rings and rings of security. Christine, I remember one time being at the State of the Union and walking by one of the House buildings, and I looked over and I heard some rustling. It was 3 guys behind a bush, security. I mean, it's all over the place. And so how this happened will have to be examined tonight. But again, it's not like the White House, where I've been many times, where you have fencing and internal security and all of that. This is a hotel in Washington, D.C., and without ringing it with security, you hope that the internal security takes care of the problem.
At this point, we don't have a motive, and it has not been said whether or not President Trump was the intended target. But it does appear that this continues to happen. And if it was determined, or is determined, that President Trump is the target, this would now be the 3rd assassination attempt against him. Why do you think this keeps happening?
Well, I think there is a tremendous amount of animus about Donald Trump. But what is the key common denominator in all of these? You have a lone wolf situation, a lone actor situation going on in the United States. As a country, our intelligence services do a great job, and I talk with a lot of those people, about plots. They can see trends, they can pick up things on the internet and other things. And so plots can be often found. But when somebody is in their house and they are alone and they're planning something and they're not communicating it, they are this lone wolf, lone actor, and they're hard to stop.
Yeah, they really are. Here's some video again of the suspect just barreling through that security checkpoint there. Before we let you go, what are your final thoughts on this entire incident, and thankfully the fact that no one was hurt tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, you had 1,000 people roughly in that room tonight. It could have been a very bad scene with lots of people being injured. Again, I think we're going to have to learn more about this 31-year-old suspect, what his motivations were. But again, you know, going back many, many years, we've had these lone wolf situations and lone actors throughout our history. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was in the room tonight. His father was killed by Sirhan Sirhan, a lone actor. And so there's a long history in the United States of these things. And again, from a law enforcement perspective, they're very hard to find these people and arrest them or stop them before they do something.
And at this point, they said they could not continue. I know President Trump said he wanted to continue with the dinner tonight, but it just wasn't safe to do so. And I'm assuming that was the right call in your opinion.
Oh, there's no question about that. You don't know whether he had accomplices who had also checked into the hotel or were around, and he could have been the point of the spear with other people behind him. They made a good decision. I thought the president, in talking about rescheduling this, and that's up to the White House correspondents, folks, to reschedule it within 30 days, makes a statement about we won't allow this kind of thing to derail public activities and other things that go on in the United States.
Okay, Brian, so we'll have to leave the conversation there. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Our coverage on tonight's security breach at the White House correspondent